This is an amazing history of an Ethiopian hero, Colonel Abdissa Aga. Please start the video by simply following the channel. Colonel Abdissa Aga was born in Walega, Oromia Ray. His father lost his temper and killed his own brother when Abdissa was about 12 years old. Though he went as far as Addis Ababa to appeal for the release of his father, he was executed. Sad and embittered, he joined the Ethiopian army around the age of 14 and fought against fascist Italy in 1936 in Ethiopia. He was captured and imprisoned in a concentration camp in the island of Sicily in Italy. There he met Captain Julio, a Yugoslav hero. The two became friends and made a daring escape from the concentration camp, taking with them a dozen prisoners to the woods. They continued to fight in that manner, freeing prisoners and robbing concentration camps, banks, government warehouses, etc., until their number grew to an army, and until the Italian government battled with them fiercely. The Italian fascists were terrified since they knew how brave Ethiopians were, recalling the Battle of Dogali, Ambalaj, Adwa, Maichu, and remembering the bravery of Zerai Deres, whom later Abdissa tried in vain to see and hug. Finally, the Second World War broke out. The Allied forces, Britain, the USA, France, and Russia, recognized Major Abdissa, Captain Julio, and the rest of the partisans and began to supply them with arms and provisions. Major Abdissa Aga was chosen to lead the International Army of Partisans, former prisoners, which consisted of Americans, English, French, Ethiopians, and other nationals. When the armies of the Allies reached Rome, they honored Major Abdissa Aga highly. The British made him the commander of the British military police and sent him to Germany to fight against the German army. He battled with the German Nazis in different cities, defeated them, controlled the cities and villages, and entered Berlin triumphantly again, waving Ethiopian and British flags. He was in the spotlight all over the world. At the end of the war, the British, the Canadians, and the Americans wanted him to join their armies, promising him high ranks. He refused, adamantly saying that though his motherland, Ethiopia, was poor, he would still return to her and see the face of his emperor whom he had missed for so long. This incensed the Allies, and believe it or not, they accused him of ravaging the Italian fascists when he was a partisan. The French, the British, the Americans, even the Russians to some extent condemned him. Fortunately, a noble British general who had decorated him with medals previously fought for his release, changing the prison sentence to financial fine, which was paid by Abdissa himself and the British government. The great Ethiopian hero finally returned to Ethiopia, longing to see his country and emperor. The emperor welcomed him and sent him to Ras Bibi Aragai, the then Minister of Defense, so that he would employ him. Ras Bibi and some of the most important patriots of Ethiopia were scared of Abdissa's valor and feared for their own positions. So instead of promoting him to a general, Ras Bibi sent Major Abdissa to the Holeta Military Academy as a simple cadet. After several months of hardship in Holeta, he graduated as a first lieutenant, to the surprise of the British officers whom Abdissa used to command when they were in Europe. Abdissa was oppressed in the Ethiopian army. He was sent to the Ogaden and fought against the Somali invaders, displaying incredible courage and military tactics. In spite of what he did to raise the pride of Ethiopia and to safeguard her territorial integrity, he didn't rise above the rank of a captain for many years until somebody, they say Captain Julio and Marshal Tito, drew the attention of the emperor towards the end of the emperor's life and regime. The emperor raised his rank to colonel and made him his bodyguard. Colonel Abdissa Aga the Great died a few years after the 1974 Ethiopian Revolution.